Hello, folks, and welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. All right, the star of the show in last night's State of the Union festivities was certainly not Joe Biden, who gave a third-rate huckster speech, cherry-picking phony numbers, quoting meaningless GOP backbencher statements about Social Security and Medicare, and mostly going through the usual big government socialist, left-wing Democratic wish list, wild spending plans, government mandates, controls, taxing entrepreneurial success, taxing business, taxing the stock market, a regulatory assault on pharmaceuticals and tech companies and banks, dictating resort fees that even he admitted aren't really resorts. I think he meant Motel 6. Cable, internet, cell phone companies, sporting event tickets, airline baggage, dissing non-compete employment contracts, giving the teachers union another pay raise, restoring the full child credit with no work requirements, and on and on and on. Biden scratched every radical left-wing itch for the Democratic Party. Fortunately, none of these new proposals are going to go through with a Republican House, okay? Really, if somebody took a pen and pencil and an adding machine and added up all this stuff, who knows? He could have been talking about another $5 trillion in debt on the federal books, on top of the $5 trillion he's already enacted. I mean, the whole theatrical bit about not touching Social Security and Medicare, which GOP leaders have said so many times is off the table now, really nothing but a smokescreen, because Biden basically said, I want an unconditional, clean debt increase with no spending cuts or reforms. He never mentioned his visit with Kevin McCarthy or whether there's going to be any follow-up. I mean, the Social Security Medicare bit was pure hucksterism, Democratic pap, and it's continuing today. Meanwhile, Biden's spending frenzy has increased the cost of living by 14% over the past 2 years. That is the biggest two-year jump since Jimmy Carter. Blue-collar working folks have suffered the most, with a huge decline in living standards coming to roughly $15 a week or $60 a month, all that adjusted for rising inflation. Real wages fell 1.4% last year alone. That's the biggest drop since 2011. Take-home pay for working folks has been falling steadily for 2 years, and that's why Biden's polls are so low. And that continues as the soft underbelly of Biden's failing economy. Even his own Fed chairman said this week that inflation continues and will require higher interest rates that will do even more damage to the middle class. The overall U.S. economy grew by a meager 1% last year, with a near 6.5% inflation rate, and that rate was actually lower than the 9% plus inflation earlier in the year. And of course, Biden blames Trump, who handed him a 1.4% inflation rate with a 6.5% GDP growth rate. And Biden blames Putin, pandemics, big oil, rich people, large corporations. I mean, the list is endless. Just two more quick thoughts here. Biden can blame big oil and their profits, but it was Biden's own policies, his war against fossil fuels, that choked off oil and gas production, which itself was the primary cause of the spike in prices, which, yes, led to higher profits. I mean, the dirty little secret, of course, is that Biden's EPA, his Interior Department, and his Energy Department won't allow permitting for drilling or pipelining or refining or new LNG terminals. Biden is spending hundreds of billions of dollars on electric cars. But just the other day, his Interior Department stopped a permit for mineral drilling and mining in the Iron Range in Minnesota near Lake Superior. This is potentially the biggest source of copper, nickel, and lithium. All that goes into batteries for electric cars. So the Biden administration stopped it, handing a gift to China and penalizing American companies again. It's a perfect example of left-wing policies that backfire. Biden claims he's the manufacturing president, and then he phonies up a number of 800,000 new jobs that he forgot to include the 2020 COVID shutdown. Actually, in his 2 years, manufacturing jobs have increased over 200,000, not 800,000, although the index of manufacturing production fell in last year's fourth quarter, a bad omen. Meanwhile, by comparison, Trump's pre-COVID two-year manufacturing record was plus 467,000 jobs. So this was more huckstering blarney from Biden. Now, let's stop with Biden. Let's get back to the star of the show, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She gave a remarkable, riveting, high-content speech that was extraordinarily well delivered. Sarah says, I'm for freedom. He's for government control. She says, at 40, I'm the youngest governor in the country. At 80, he's the oldest president in American history. She says, I'm the first woman to lead my state. He's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is. And then she went on to say all this. Please take a listen.
In the radical left's America, Washington taxes you and lights your hard-earned money on fire. But you get crushed with high gas prices, empty grocery shelves, and our children are taught to hate one another on account of their race, but not to love one another or our great country. Whether Joe Biden believes this madness or is simply too weak to resist it, his administration has been completely hijacked by the radical left. The dividing line in America is no longer between right or left. The choice is between normal or crazy.
There you have it, normal or crazy. Terrific work, Sarah. And Governor Huckabee Sanders put straight into Biden's untruths with this. Take a listen here.
President Biden inherited the fastest economic recovery on record, the most secure border in history, cheap, abundant, homegrown energy, fast rising wages, a rebuilt military, and a world that was stable and at peace. But over the last 2 years, Democrats destroyed it all. Despite Democrats' trillions in reckless spending and mountains of debt, we now have the worst border crisis in American history.
All right, that's called straight talk. That's called factually straight talk. Now, Sarah also told a riveting story about a surprise Christmas trip to visit troops in Iraq that she herself was on. As I say, the president and the first lady was there. It was riveting. Sarah's a great storyteller. And in fact, folks, effective speeches are really about credible storytelling. Joe Biden couldn't do it last night. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders did. And that by itself is the big story from the State of the Union evening. I will conclude. Save America. Restore freedom. Stop big government socialism.